Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Warzone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in. Because without you guys, I would not have a show. And I'm very, very grateful for you taking the time out to come and hang out with your boy. The first thing I want you to do, I want you to push the share button on the video, get the video out there. And we're going to talk about something really near and dear to my heart. I'm going to talk about schools, but I'm going to talk about it from a different perspective. Just got off the phone with my good friend, Robert Williams. And today I saw him at a press conference out in Klein Forest, along with Candace Matthews and Quanell X and members of LULAC, former HISD trustee Sergio Lira was out there, man. They seem to have some gang problems and some fighting going on at these schools. So what we're going to do, I'm gonna come over here and I'm going to play this for you. And I want you to tell me what you think. Hold on a second. Let me find it. Where did it go? Okay, let's go here. All right, we're going here. And now we're gonna find this thing. I thought I had it loaded, but I don't. So let's find it. There we go. Here we go. Let's crank this up. It's coming on.
Only at Mart, the #1 Ram dealer in the nation, can you get a $10,000 discount on a new Ram 1500 plus 2.9% APR financing for up to 72 months. Compare hundreds of discounted Jeeps and Rams ready to ship today with a 100% online buying experience. Upgrade to a new Ram during the Start Something New sales event.
Here we go.
Caught on camera fighting inside Klein Forest High School. Some say this shows a problem that is out of control.
But a district spokesperson called a news conference that was held today grandstanding. Jason Miles has more from both sides.
Videos shared on social media are sparking concerns. From boys fighting boys in a bathroom to this girl-on-girl fight in what appears to be a common area.
This is a system for education and higher learning. This is not the Fight Club.
Community activists, including members of LULAC, or the League of United Latin American Citizens, believe things at Klein Forest High School have gotten out of hand.
We cannot deny that there's a gang problem in some of our high schools. We cannot deny the fact that there are problems that we need to address immediately.
They believe gang-related disputes between Black and Hispanic students are to blame for, among other things, 5 fights last Friday alone, something the district did not confirm.
I am afraid and concerned for the safety and security of students here at Klein Forest High School.
In a statement, Klein ISD Executive Director of Communications, Justin Elbert, said, quote, providing a safe learning environment is our top priority, and students who violate our student code of conduct are disciplined accordingly. We always encourage any individual with a question or concern to come directly to the school to partner with us instead of grandstanding or spreading misinformation. In this video, Klein ISD police officers are seen breaking up the fight, and we saw a number of officers on campus during today's news conference, which also offered advice to students themselves.
There's a better way than fighting and harming one another. There's a safer way to settle your disagreements and your disputes.
Data reported to the TEA does show a spike in fights at Klein Forest last school year, but keep in mind, it's similar to many other schools and districts.
That was Jason Miles reporting. Remember, Klein ISD is not the only district dealing with fights. I sat down with students, parents, and experts to talk about this ongoing issues in schools. Right now on KHOU.com, we have an interactive map showing how many fights happened in Houston area schools over the last 5 years and how each district handled them. You can also watch my 3-part investigation streaming now on KHOU 11+.
All right, there you saw that. There you saw that video. Well, my good friend Quanell X, Candace Matthews, Robert Williams, former HISD trustee Sergio Lira, and LULAC black and brown people out there trying to bring unity to a situation that is totally out of control. So now I'm going to get into this thing. They said there was an interactive map, and I'll put that map up in a second, that shows you the number of fights that have been had, what they did as far as discipline. And as I looked through the map, I saw the biggest problem that we have. I saw the biggest problem that we have is that the districts are not being honest about the number of fights that are happening on these campuses. I've caught districts in the past, 14 years, where they would recode offenses. They would recode offenses to make it look like nothing really happened. So when they turn this into TEA, the school doesn't look bad. So when you're not going to be honest about what is really going on in the school, that means you're not honest about really addressing the problem. And the problem is that you have an environment that kids have to stay in for 7 to 8, maybe 9 hours a day, where there's no structure, where there's no discipline, there's no nothing. You see what I'm saying? There's no nothing. And, Candace said this is not the Fight Club. Yes, it is. They not running schools. They running MMA, main events. This goes on at almost every single school that you can name, from middle to high school on a daily basis. So I'm kind of confused at the numbers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put up the interactive map, and we're going to look at it together. Let's see if I got it right. Okay, that's it right there. So we're going to put up the interactive map. Let's scroll down. Is this it? Where the map at? Okay, here we go. This is the interactive map, and it shows the districts. What we're going to do is we're going to make it a little bit bigger so that you can see what I see. All right, let's get up out of here. All right, let's do it like this. Okay. So what I want to do is, let me make sure I'm on the right page. Okay, there I am. Make sure you can see it. Okay, so you can see this map. You can see this map. All right, so when I touch on a certain screen, it's going to put up the numbers. So let's go to Houston. Houston Independent School Districts, fights per 1,000 kids, 11.6. Total fights in 21-22, 2,461. All right, 211,000 kids enrolled. You had 366 kids to go to ISS, and you had 92 to go to DAEP. So now I'm confused. So 92 kids from HISD went to the alternative school in 21-22. A damn lie. That's a lie. Matter of fact, what's your cap on the number of kids that can be in this school? You're actually running 2 schools, 2 DAEP schools. One where you got DAEP kids, another one where you got alternative kids, and you got special ed kids. So you have a campus that's just strictly disciplinary children, and then you have another campus that's disciplinary children and special ed. So here's my question. So all you had was 92 kids to go there? Remember what I told you? They're not being truthful. So let's go over to, I want to go over to, let me find it. This is Cypress, Aldine, Klein ISD. Klein in 21-22, he had 634 fights with an average of 16.7 per 1,000 students. 259 went to ISS, and 30 kids all year went to DAEP. That's a damn lie. Let's go over here to Katy. Katy had 13.1 per 1,000 kids. 749 students went to ISS, and none went to DAEP. Hold on a second, man. No kids didn't go to DAEP? Katie, you a damn lie. Because I've had to fight to get kids up out of there. If you're not going to be honest about the problem, then you're really not being honest about fixing the problem. Let's look at some more. Let's go to Fort Bend. Fort Bend, 10.3 per 1,000 students, 851 fights, 490 in ISS, and 0 in DAEP. Are you serious, dude? Are you serious, dude? Are you serious? Let's look at some more districts. Okay. I want to look at Alvin ISD. 456 fights and 27 went to alternative school. I want to look at y'all. I need you to see me. Alvin, only 27 kids went to alternative school. Alvin, you sent 27 kids to alternative school in a week. In a week. What's the root cause of all this? Let's go back 20, 30 years. I'm the root cause. People like me are the root cause. See, because we were out in the streets and we were wilding and we were doing our thing. And, a lot of people want to say, well, it was y'all that created this monster. No, it wasn't. Let me tell you what we had. We had rules. Yeah, we might have been in the streets doing what we was doing, but we had respect for the game. Wasn't all that gang foolishness. Matter of fact, we didn't even hustle on Sundays. We wouldn't play football. The root cause is people like me. But you know what? The biggest problem is the school districts. And I don't care what anybody tells me. A lot of the stuff that filters out into the streets starts on the school campuses. These people know it starts on the school campuses. They know that. You see what I'm saying? They know it starts on the school campuses. And the sad part about it is they're doing nothing about it. The lack of being able to discipline a child has been instilled in the principals. I had a principal tell me it almost takes an act of God to get a kid sent to jail. If they get caught with a pound of weed on a school campus, they send them to rehab. See, this restorative justice stuff, it works to a certain degree, but there has to be consequences for certain things. I want to read Robert's comment. Let's read it. Robert said, I showed up at the press conference for one reason today, to show unity between the Black and brown communities. Are there gang-related fights happening between Black and brown Hispanics? Blacks and Hispanics? Absolutely. But these kids were not born hating other ethnic groups. They are seeing this within their homes. It's our fault. And the only way to fix it is by the leaders in the Black and brown communities coming together, identifying the issues we have, and by truly understanding the battle is not between us, but, and he stopped right there. Let me see. It was a part. He said, but these kids were not born hating other ethnic groups. They're seeing that within their homes. What's the root cause? What are the kids fighting for? Turf that ain't even for them. They're fighting over land that's not even for them. This is their turf. Another thing that they're fighting for is the drug trade. who controls the drug trade. Another reason these fights manifest is, like Nathan Jones said, social media. The best two cops I've ever seen work on a school campus was named Willie Demby and Tanisha Jones. And when I say they would monitor social media, because they're going to put it all on social media. So they knew when the fights were going to pop, they calling them in the office. They knew when it was going to pop after school, they calling them in the office. They squashing it before it happens. But see, the thing about it is, I don't have a problem with black and brown leadership coming together. But what I can't do is sit back and clearly act like I am holier than thou and I'm going to go preach to them. I'm not standing with somebody I know sell dope, trying to talk to some kids about not beating each other ass in the school. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can bring black and brown leadership together all you want. But if it ain't nothing but a bunch of suit and ties and they're preaching to the choir, they're not going to hear you. One night we had a function at a church, Stop the Violence or something. And I was on the panel. Brad Jordan was on the panel. They had some more people. And it was my turn to speak. And I looked in the church. And there was a whole section that was empty. And I told the pastor, I looked at him and I say, the people that you need to be talking to, they don't come to church. They not in here. So we can put together whatever we want. But if the audience is not there that you need to reach, we're just wasting our oxygen. Second thing, they don't want to talk to nobody who really don't understand. You got a suit and a tie on and you coming to preach to them, they ain't finna listen to you. That's one reason, people, that I don't dress up all the time when I go wherever I gotta go. Because I'm one of them. And I tell them that in a heartbeat. And I gravitate to them, they gravitate to me. It's a conversation that need to be had. But I will say this. Gangsters respect gangsters. They ain't finna respect nobody look like the police. Nobody. Now, what you can't keep doing is running up in them neighborhoods, fooling with them youngsters. You ain't got but a couple times. And then they don't tell you don't come back around there no more. So the thing is what's the root cause? A suburb like Klein should not be popping like this. What's the root cause? I keep telling y'all, when you gentrify my neighborhood and you force them to the suburbs, you just create a new fancier ghetto. You got a whole bunch of people that's in Klein, in Katy, in Sugarland that come from the hood, man. Section 8 is a mother. You can take the hood, but you can't take the hood out the. You shifting the problem from one community to the next community. And Robert say his last part of his comment is understanding the battle is not between us, but has been generated with true intention by the establishment that wants to maintain a white America. So, Rob, what you got to say about these new suburban ghettos? A lot of people move out of the ghetto that are fortunate enough to get out because they want their kids to grow up in a better environment. And it's okay if you picked your family up and you packed all your stuff and you moved out to Klein, and well, you picked up all that drama too when you packed them boxes. And you took that drama from Third Ward to Klein. Now you out there, and now you got everybody wearing different rags and representing this. See, what I never understood, and I'm going to say it, because I done said it before. I done ran the streets and the trenches all over the country. I got boys in Houston saying they are Deuce Trey Hoover gangsters. Hoover Crips. Where the fuck is Hoover Street in Houston? It's in a commercial park. You representing something that you don't know nothing about. You throwing up a flag for something that can't give you a 401k. You throwing up a flag for something that can't give you no retirement. But see, this is where I always got to talk to the punk ass parents. That child lives in your house with all of his blue and his red and his bullshit that he bring home. You see this going on, but you a punk ass parent because you don't say nothing. You a punk ass parent because you don't want to raise your kids. And then your kid go to school thinking they can handle these teachers and the administration and the other kids like they handle your punk ass. And that's where the problem kind of lies at. Accountability. Accountability. When I didn't really know things because I'm raising a teenage boy, I was cool with the white officer in Fort Bend that was over the gang task force. I would have this man come to my house, go through my kid room, find me everything gang related. And he'll come out and tell me, say, man, he changed his light bulb from white to red. He's slowly migrating to red. You know, he wearing a lot of Arkansas Razorback stuff. So when he get home, you know, let me holler at your homeboy. Well, what's all this here you got going on up there? Oh, it ain't nothing, man. I got the red light. Take the red light out the room. And I meant what I said. I pay the rent. I pay the mortgage. Ain't no kid finna raise me. But y'all allowing these gang mentalities to exist in your homes. And then you come on the Warzone and different podcasts and you sit here like you are holier than thou and these are not your children that's wreaking havoc out in these streets and in these schools. Those numbers are not right. They padding the stats in schools worse than they padding them in Harris County. Come on, man. They said last year in Harris County, we had 5 murders in Southeast Houston. This on the interactive site for that. Motherfucker, they had 5 murders in one day. But see, when you hiding and you padding it, you can't get to the root cause to be able to fix it. Now, is there a reason they don't want to fix it? Is there a reason they want black and browns to do the things that they're doing? Fighting and bullying is at all schools, no matter their ethnicity. A lot of these fights are gangs recruiting children. And kids are fighting back. But parents, I'm going to arm you with something. There are laws in place that require your schools to be safe environments. Your child does not have to go to a school that's unsafe. They can give them an emergency transfer in a heartbeat. So the thing that I'm telling you is we can have the conversations, but it's got to be with people that really understand the now. I don't need you to know what the fuck went on with me in 86. Do you understand what's going on now? Do you understand what's going on now? Janelle Dunn says Sheldon, Galena Park, and Channelview secondary schools don't have that problem because the structure and the discipline is in place in the educational environment. There is no structure and no discipline. And how dare the communication director of Klein say that Robert and Candace and Quanell and Lulac went out there and they were grandstanding. Look, if we gonna solve this problem, the first thing we gonna do is neutralize the motherfucker with the microphone. That's what I did to HISD. And Max Ball, that motherfucker ain't said nothing in over a month. Because I went after him first. I'm gonna make you shut your mouth to where you can't spin the narrative. And the truth is going to have to be told. Law enforcement, all this reform, and we letting too much shit go on, man. Let's read what Rob put up. When we met the kids in Sweeney ISD, there were a couple of constants. They were already in alternative school. They were raised by single mothers who considered them their friends instead of their children. I understood the mother's feelings that way and never spoke negatively towards them, but I also understood my role as a buffer between those kids and the system. Not even buffers out there now. Well, here's the thing. He said, I understood the mother's feelings that way and never spoke negatively towards them. One of the biggest problems in the world right now, man, when we're talking about these types of subjects, is the moms that then threw the men out the house understand. Nowadays, it's hard for a woman to raise a man. It's hard. Another thing, if you my child, I ain't your fucking friend. You my child. I ain't your friend. You my child. I'm not your friend. Never gonna be your friend. Don't want to smoke with you. Don't want to drink with you. Don't want to kick it with you. Ain't going to club with you. None of that. And all it kind of boils down to, bottom line, because it's a lot of us old schoolers who were raised by single moms, that some of these moms are just some punk-ass parents. I'm telling the truth. And those out there know it. You got some friends, men and women, who just some punk-ass parents. They don't know how to raise kids. A lot of them had kids just to get some money and some food stamps. They don't give a damn how the shit go on a daily basis. But everybody expect for everybody to treat their kids the way they do. That's why you got a lot of parents that show up at the school and want to fight the school's administration. Because they used to getting their ass whooped at home by their kids, so they expect people at the school to get their ass whooped too. Teachers can't physically defend themselves. These kids know that. And therefore, it's a lot of teachers with these padded up stats that are being abused at the schoolhouse. Teachers are literally getting their behinds whooped by these adolescent kids. And that's one reason when people like, man, you could be a substitute right now. Not me. Not me. I'm going to jail the first day. I'm not going to let no kid put his hand on me. That ain't going to happen. Teachers cannot physically defend themselves without losing their jobs and their certifications. Now, the kids can tear the school up all day long. But if they put their hands on the teacher come back on them, a teacher going to lose it. She's going to lose everything, or he's going to lose everything that they've ever worked for. So this environment that they've created is designed to hurt black and brown kids. It's designed to hurt them. It's designed to send them to jail. It's designed for them not to be a lawyer, or a doctor, or a teacher, or a fireman. It's designed to make them convicts. So how do we put a stop to it? Robert is right. You got to get folk together, but you got to get the right folk. You got to get the right folk together. And you got to have an army of well-equipped that understand education as well as home environments to be able to get down to the root cause, because before you can come up with a solution, you got to figure out what made it pop. You got these kids are being, I mean, I got an assignment in the morning, kid being bullied. No, we can't allow this. We cannot allow this. I've seen it too many times. 14 years I've been doing this. And I'm going to say this to whoever's listening that say they are big on education. And this is a real conversation. When we're talking about helping Black people in the state of Texas, if Robert Williams is not in that conversation, that's a bullshit conversation. If we're talking about education and Gary Monroe ain't in that conversation, that's a bullshit conversation. I'm just telling you what I feel. I'm telling you what I had to call a principal today. Ain't gonna say their name. Oh, she this, she that. She ain't gonna talk to you. Already got my meeting scheduled after one phone call. One phone call. If you're going to have a conversation, you got to have the right people in the room. You got to have the right people in the room. Lionel Matthews says that basically he believes that 100% across the school system, uniforms and shoes, and wear a damn belt. I don't believe in the uniform policy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when a kid, like in the state of California, if you research the prison system, they get packages from home, so you can get clothes from the house. The only two colors you can get in a package, you want a sweatshirt, if you want some sweatpants or something. The only two colors you can get is red or blue. Pick a goddamn side. The packages you get from your mom at home, if she sends you sweats like I got on, they can only be red and they can only be blue. I don't believe in uniforms. I believe that these kids should be able to wear what they want. You're preparing them for college. And when they get ready to go to college, they're not going to make them buy a uniform. This has to be real world, and you got to start treating them like adults. When it comes to discipline in the school, you treat them like adults. There's consequences for their actions. We are teaching these kids to live through a false narrative. This is why they graduate from school. They end up in the streets with the fighting and then they end up dead. See, because in school, you can fight all day, every day. They ain't going to do nothing about it. They ain't going to do nothing about it because they don't want to look bad to TEA. See, me, if I was a principal, the best principal I ever laid eyes on, the best principal I ever laid eyes on was Joe Clark. Joe Clark and what's my man from Washington Preparatory School in LA, George McKenna. Warzone neighborhoods. Dr. Bertie Simmons took over Fur, turned it into something. If you run these schools like they're high quality schools instead of low maintenance prisons, then the kids won't act like prisoners. I don't believe in the uniform policies, BJ, because in the real world, we get to wear what we want to wear. And I'm a prime example of it. I don't care what the function is. I swear I put my sweats and my Air Maxes on in a heartbeat. People say, Monroe, at the last board meeting, you look so nice, man. You had your suit on. I had my J's on too. I believe that you should wear what you want when you want to wear it. Now, I don't believe that you need to come to school looking like you're going to the Players Club. I don't believe in flip-flops. I don't believe in muscle shirts. No, dress nice, but they can wear what they want. But the root causes of the problem start at the house. It starts with the parents, who are punk-ass parents, and I'm not letting up off that, because what you're dealing with at home, we shouldn't have to deal with in the educational environment. That's how I feel. And you want everybody to put up with your child shit like you do. Yeah, I mean, Nathan says, I believe every school district has issues. None are absolute. And that is true. But Nathan, if there's no consequences, then they're going to fight all day, every day, like at Worthing High School. I got a Worthing teacher on here right now. I'm not going to name them. They're going to fight every goddamn day. Every single day. Come on, man. Last year, I want to go back to this interactive map. Hold on a second. Let's go back. Last year, Houston Independent School District, only 92 kids went to DAEP. I got the texts in my phone from one day at Worthing when the kids went slap the fuck off. It was 15 fights in one day. And you telling me only 92 kids in the whole district went to DAEP. I had to get up out of my sick bed and go to Worthing. They had the gate locked. Somebody standing at the gate, and I said, you better open this motherfucker right now. Went in there, looked at the principal as I was walking down the sidewalk in the back room. I had teachers calling me, saying they were locked in the closets. Lionel Matthews, my good friend, says kids still wear pants on their ass in school and teachers can't do anything about it. So they walk around running the school. So what you know about that? Lionel ain't lying. See, let me tell you what. One of the best principals I've seen was Ronald Mumphrey at Jackie A. Senior High School. And he was my old offensive line coach, so you kind of know he didn't play no games. He would sit in a chair in the hallway. If he saw a kid with his pants sagging, he gave him that look. They immediately pulled their pants up. This was his rules. So if they didn't pull their pants up, it was always one of the female administrators that was nearby. He'll look over there, Miss So-and-so, sugar going and rolling. He didn't play no games. He added students by subtracting bad behavior. Let me say that again for you so you can get it. He added to the enrollment population by getting rid of bad behavior. People don't want their kids to go to school with some of these kids with the way that they act on a daily basis. Some schools have great PR. They have great public relations where things happen. Girls are raped, boys are beat up, and it never hits the wire. Lamar, Bel Air, never hits the wire. So the schools that look totally out of control are the suburban schools and the schools that's in the hood. But the whole time at the affluent white school, the same thing is going on. They got gangs, they selling dope. Back in the day at Yates, you could get you a nice little weed square and get your puff pass on. But if you really wanted that hard dope, when they were selling powder, go to Lamar. You get all the dope you wanted. And it's still like that. So the thing is we're not going to sit here and just down the black and brown schools. We're going to down them all. But the culture has been created. And there's a reason that the culture even exists. Because they really want to send these kids to their next stop, which is not college. It's not college. Now, if we're going to have the discussion about bringing black and brown people together, then we're going to have to tell the truth. I started this out by saying we got to tell the truth. My Latino brothers and those that are faithful listeners, you've heard me say it before. When there's a Latino issue, we there with you. We lockstep with you. We're ready to go to war for you. But when it's a black issue, you know where to be found. When you think about trying to bring people together, that's the leadership. How many times have they been absent? From the fight. Let's read BJ's comment. My good friend BJ Johnson. Every school needs a Gary Wayne Monroe mentality. Teach the kids that come to school with a desire to learn. Find reasonable alternatives for kids who do not want to learn or be at a school. Stop playing with the kids. Don't waive your rights and be the adults at all times. We are a disservice to our kids when we choose not to address the real issues. Be consistent and determined to be the positive change. That's basically what Rob started off saying. And BJ summed it up right there. The reason that these kids are out of control is they had some great examples. When you see a girl doing certain things, she either learned it from her father or she learned it from her mother. See, we're graduating more boys to the street corners and more girls to the stripper poles than we are to HBCUs. We're graduating more boys to the corner and more girls to the stripper poles than we are to Houston Community College, to HVAC school, to welding school. Because these kids want fast money. And I'm like Terry. Schools are the new daycare. They are the new daycare. A lot of people like, I can't afford for my kid to be at home because I work 2 jobs. You're a goddamn liar. You work the second shift at Popeyes. Go to work and bring your stinking ass home. That's what it boils down. We didn't look, man. I was a latchkey kid. My mom worked and she worked hard. But when I got out of school, I had to come home. Go in that house, lock that door, and don't open that door for nobody. Because she had structure in her household. There is no structure in the home environment. And then you expect for these children to come out of these messed up home environments and then go into the school environment and change who they become. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Janelle say the hip hop culture negative influence is strong. I am a diehard Brad Jordan fan. But I didn't give a damn what Brad was rapping. I ain't go out there and do it. These kids don't have a strong mentality. So whatever 21 Savage and Young Thug say, a lot of them want to see if they can do it. I'm a great rapper, but if you listen to my songs, it's really about hustling. It's about making money. It ain't about killing nobody. It ain't about killing nobody. Brad Jordan, NWA, Ice-T, they ain't make me, I ain't do what they said. We cannot keep blaming hip-hop music for the failures of these adults as parents. Before you can change kid behavior, you have to change adult behavior. That's not even an option. If you want your daughter to grow up and be a respectable young woman, then stop being a hoe in her face. If you want your son to grow up and be a respectable young man, stop being a weak ass dude in his face. Have some accountability about your children. And then this shit will not filter into schools. They will buy into the fact that this is the only time in their life that they are going to get a free education. Because after this, if they don't get a scholarship, academically or athletically, they're going to have to pay to go to school. Or they're going to have to get loans that they're going to have to pay back. It starts at the house. It starts at home. You got your kids at home watching Power, Empire, all this shit they be watching. Then they go listen to that old garbage rap music. Start thinking they 21 Savage, Young Thug, and all that. And then they turn on you. And when they turn on their parents, the parents don't do nothing to remind them that I'm the reason that you even here. My mama was 98 pounds at her heaviest. And how dare I ever try her? There were consequences for my actions. And I will say I've never tried her because I saw what she did to my sister. I'm not doing it. Not me. She struck the fear of God in me. But some of y'all want to be you ran your man off. You kept clowning till you run him off. And now your kids got to be your friend. Your friend is not your child. So I applaud them. But now you've gone out to climb. You've done a press conference. The communication director, who has to have the authorization of the superintendent of that school district, has said that you guys were grandstanding. Let's look at Shea Chapman. What did she write? It was pretty long. I want to read it. That's why I made a choice to find a job that is remotely so I can stay active in my kids' education. I have structure in my home, and I always have to tell the teachers, don't put me in a crab in the bucket mentality. Just because I live in the hood, that doesn't mean I don't care what goes on in my kids' education. I choose not to bus my kids to another school when they can improve our zone home schools. And I totally agree with her. Kudos to you, my sister. So, with the communications director basically dismissing you guys, what's your plan of action? If a conversation is going on about education in the surrounding counties, a serious conversation, and I'm not sitting at the table, it's a bullshit conversation. Because you got to have somebody there that know what policies and rules work in your favor. I bet you Max Maul from HISD, God bless him, as much hell as I raised from December to January right now, he never put out a statement like that on me. You know why? Because I'm going to make you eat it. I'll make you eat it. Renee Broussard said, look at Erica Badu and her daughter taking inappropriate picture online, social media, TikTok is killing our kids. Well, Erica Badu and her daughter, one, I can't tell Erica how to raise a child. But just to be honest with y'all, Erica Badu been a hoe. And hoes come in 3 generations. If Erica Badu is a hoe, her mama was a hoe. So what you think the daughter gonna be? Let's go look at them Kardashians. They mama was a hoe. Well, what all her daughters? Except for that youngest one. She seems a little bit more structured. But Kim a hoe, Chloe a hoe. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. Erica Badu been a hoe. Erica Badu got that good. And if I'm lying, every dude that she got with, except the DOC, who ended up leaving going to LA, every dude after that, she had him dressing funny and looking crazy. That girl messed up Andre 3000's mind with that good. Say what you want. You looking at the body. She looking ain't messed Andre up. Erica went in there and sucked him up. Hit him with that sloppy. He ain't been the same since. Common ain't been the same since. Come on, man. Erica Badu got that good. Do I have an opinion about the picture of her and her daughter? Her daughter's 18 years old. She can do what she want to do. Erica Badu can do what she want to do. We worrying about Erica Badu, daughter. You need to worry about over there with Will Smith and Jada. Because them kids fucked up over there in that Smith household. Fucked all the way up. Fucked all the way up. Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union. Freaks. So what you think a freak gonna do with a kid? They're gonna raise a young freak. And these the kids that got to go to school every day. You feel what I'm saying? P.I. say Erica's children are causing problems in her household or their schools. No, Erica from Dallas. She from the hood. But the only thing they could say is how the girl was dressed. But hold on a second, man. Oh, hold on. Let me go find something. Hold on. Let's go find something. I'm looking for something, so bear with me. This would cause the uproar. Let's go over here. Let's stop the screen. Let's go in. We're going to share the screen. This would cause the uproar. Right here. This picture right here caused the uproar because Erica Badu's on a picture with her daughter. But let me find this other picture I'm looking for. Hold on. Okay. So you have that picture. That's what caused the problem. And I've been seeing a whole bunch of women have a problem with this picture. They got a problem with this picture, but a whole bunch of y'all out there ain't got a problem with this one. I would rather see that than to see this. Because a whole bunch of y'all walking around every day with these tights on that don't look fucking right. If you're big, you can't wear everything. When you wear that, the average man say, well, man, I might see some camel toe. Some of y'all fruit is everywhere. So I can either see this or I can see that picture. Yeah, that's what y'all doing out there, man. People worrying about Erykah Badu and her daughter when some of y'all walking around like a Mr. Potato Head dog. But these the mentalities that you send to the schoolhouse every day. These the mentalities that you send to the schoolhouse. Come on, man. This is what we doing out here now. Let's see if we can pull this up. I want to see. Let's see. Let me see. Let me stop this. Let me add a picture. Some of y'all think this shit cute. But let me tell you something. They confident in themselves. There's nothing wrong with them being confident. But the bottom line is we can't wear everything. But to make sure you understand what I'm saying, these are mentalities that start at home. Whether it's the gang mentality, whether it's the defiant mentality, you know, the pushing back mentality on authority, it all starts at the house. And if we can't raise them the right way, then they're going to embarrass you in public. And this is what's been going on. I wish Rob them luck with what they're trying to do, which is an honorable thing. But until we get to the root of the problem and figure out that these school districts are the ones that are perpetuating the fraud, they have the ability to stop that. They have the ability, but everybody's covering it up. Oh, it's more fights than what you saw that goes on a daily basis. It's more fights than that go on in those schools. I've seen it too many times. I've got people that call me, can you help my child? They finna send him to alternative school. Fuck no. Your child shouldn't have did what they did. I will never defend wrong. I'll defend right. But just know it's root causes to the violence that goes on these school campuses. And the school district knows it. But they do nothing to stop it because it has to be reported to TEA. And they don't want to look bad to TEA, so they cover it up. And what you do when you cover it up is you empower the negative, violent behavior. Man, as usual, it's an honor and a pleasure to come and hang out with you on a nightly basis. But if Gary Monroe ain't sitting at that table, that ain't a real conversation. Get past the political affiliations. Get past the BS. Because you know what? When you getting your ass whooped in a bathroom at school, ain't nobody trying to figure out if your dad and your mama is a Republican or a Democrat. You're going to just take that ass whooping. It's the war zone. And I'm the 5-star general.